And we are dealing with impacts from this potentially historic flooding event here in the Low Country. We have already seen significant rainfall totals and going to continue to see more as we head through the day today and into the day tomorrow. There is a little bit of good news, though, at the end of the tunnel. As we take a look at these impacts here, we're looking at extreme flooding. That is going to be a big issue for us. Of course, we've been talking about that all morning, but there are a couple other things we're dealing with as well this morning. The risk for tornadoes is going to be moderate. We also have the risk for down trees and down power lines because we have a very saturated ground and we're getting wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 35 miles per hour. Those are low wind, fairly low wind strengths, but because everything is very saturated, those roots are a little bit more pliable and you're able to knock those over with a little lower wind gusts there. So something to pay attention to as well. Coastal flooding is going to be an issue, especially as we head into the afternoon. High tide will be at 1:04 this evening, so that is a time that we will be paying very close attention to, compounded by that steady rain that's going to continue through the rest of the day today. High surf and erosion is also going to be an issue for us as well. And we are going to see a little bit of good news. I do want to talk about the good news. I'm going to take Octavia's approach to things because she's always a glass half full kind of gal. As we take a look here at your forecast model through the day to tomorrow, starting this evening at 11 o'clock, we are going to continue to see those heavy rains, but watch what it does tomorrow. We start to get some drier weather in there. That doesn't mean we're done with this system, but that does mean that we are going to get a little break in the action. And then by tomorrow evening, we're going to start to see a little bit more wraparound moisture. We are going to elevate our risk for showers into the day on Monday, but the good news is at least tomorrow, we might start to get a little bit of a break in the action. That is the good news there. But unfortunately, Josh, the story for today is just going to be kind of a dire one. We're looking at a good chance for those heavy rains to continue through the majority of the day. And Josh, we've been talking about this. This is a historic event.
It is. It appears that's what we're headed for. Let's show you the radar right now because we do have and I tell you, you have some good news there, by the way, for tomorrow that we may see a little bit of a break. But I think we've got a lot. The problem with that is we have a very long way to go to get there. Let's show you what's going on right now. Remember, all the problems that we already have this morning, those have been developing during low tide. We are now surging toward high tide, and look at these rainfall rates right now that are developing up and down I-26 as we speak. This stretches from the junction of I-95 down I-26 into the Charleston Metro. The heaviest rain is occurring right now over the lower Charleston County coast. And we're going to zoom in there and show you that. Look at this over Edisto Beach. I know you are waving your arms right now and saying we give in, but I'm telling you, this is not done. And also Seabrook Island, going back to Storm Team 2 live radar, please. You can see Hollywood over toward Johns Island. Can we get Storm Team 2 live radar, please? And the downtown area right now continues to get pummeled. You have lots of lightning showing up now right along the Charleston and Colleton County line. And this is not showing signs of letting up. As we zoom out and put the radar into motion, we have noticed this morning at around the past half hour or so that we've seen some erosion on the north end of this. And that north end is slowly starting to build again. It looks like new showers are trying to develop here on the northern end of this, and you're now starting to see some new rain develop up in Georgetown County. So what we were hoping was maybe a hopeful sign that this northern edge was slowly sinking south and hopefully would push down towards Savannah and give us a little bit of a break during high tide. It would be terrible for them, but they haven't seen the rain that we've already seen. It now looks like the northern end of this is trying to redevelop just a little bit, and we're also seeing some showers and storms now developing here near the Grand Strand. So what Christine and I are going to be watching here over the next little while is, does this area here start to fill in? And if it does, that's not a good thing. Watch the connection here. Look near Atlanta. See that area of low pressure that is developing right there, or it has been there? That's a cutoff low. It's cut off from the jet stream. It is pulling moisture from the tropics, and it is now connected to the circulation of Hurricane Joaquin. So it is pulling moisture actually out of the hurricane. We talked about that yesterday, that was a possibility. Well, the connection has been made. And also the other thing that we talked about yesterday was the worst case scenario for the state of South Carolina was that this moisture plume would set up, come into the Charleston and Colleton County coastlines, and then curve north into the upstate, which would have a trajectory that pushes all of this moisture directly up the terrain of the Carolinas, and then it hits the mountains, and then that causes upslope flow on the eastern slope of the Appalachians, and you get widespread flooding along and north of I-85. You're going, okay, that doesn't impact me. Well, it might, because a lot of folks are hitting the roads and they're traveling to Clemson today. The big Notre Dame-Clemson game is going to be impacted by this, and there is a significant flash flooding danger that will develop in Oconee, Pickens, Anderson, Greenville, and Spartanburg counties in the upper part of South Carolina later today. So that's another thing that we have to look at. Let's head to the forecast model and take you through this hour by hour. The moisture supply just continues, and the forecast model is now showing what Christine and I have been watching up to the north. Does this hold? Well, it's trying to do it. It's trying to expand this band as we move through the morning, which is not good news, and this just keeps coming through the evening hours. So we've got a long day ahead of us. Here's what we expect. We are forecasting 6 to 12 inches of rain in addition to what has fallen. Storm totals will range between 8 and 15 inches for many backyards. There will be spots of 15 to 20 inches, we think, in the Palmetto State before all is said and done through Monday. That's a quick check of what's going on right now in the weather department. We're going to take the weather department on the road essentially this morning as we continue your coverage. Here's what's going on in downtown. Let's head to Annie Taylor. Annie, you know, you have seen low tide this morning. And what you're going to have here is only going to get worse. And I see Brad and Octavia are up, but I have a question that I wanted to ask her earlier.
Okay.
Annie, where you are right now is kind of a high point. You're in the middle of the market. That's actually one of the higher points right there where the market is. What do the side streets look like in comparison to the Market Street itself?
The side streets, is that what you asked?
Yes, ma'am.
The side streets right now, they actually look pretty good. They look like a regular rainy day. It's, I mean, there's really no flooding at all whatsoever on the side streets. So, of course, Market is always flooded, as we all know who live and are around downtown. Sorry, the wind is pulling this umbrella. It is windy out here. It wasn't as windy as before, Josh, but barricades are up because every time you've been mentioning things are getting worse, police have been coming around on their trucks and they have been putting up the barricades. All right, so there goes my umbrella. Well, that's your news story for you right there. So again, barricades are up. We've spoken to one family who actually just walked up the road. Their friend was supposed to get married today, but no one can get downtown. They're all staying on Sullivan's Island and on Isle of Palms, so they're clueless as to what to do downtown too. Again, people are walking around kind of wondering what's going on, asking us what's going on, and we're learning information. We're tweeting it out, so you want to check all of that on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter page. Again, I'll be updating that. There's a conference at 11 o'clock for the emergency management. We'll be going to that and live streaming that as well. Again, we are downtown on Market. Market is flooded. Streets are being blocked off, and we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio for now while I fix my umbrella.
All right, Annie, fix that umbrella there. We're going to go to News 2's Ashley Yost right now. She is also in Charleston. She is along the interstate there. As you see, people have the off-ramp 26 blocked off. You cannot head into downtown Charleston this morning. Ashley, what's the latest there?
Yes, the latest is they are setting up these big road closed orange signs right here, making it ultra official, having the cone set up right here alongside to direct cars this way. So I-26 still blocked off. They're redirecting you onto the Ravenel Bridge, and we just talked to the state trooper. He says this is the farthest up the interstate that he's ever seen them block it off. He said earlier they were redirecting people, telling them to go to the Ravenel Bridge, turn around, and then go to downtown via Meeting Street. Now they're saying they're not allowed to do that. Meeting Street is blocked off. They're not allowed to tell anyone to go towards downtown. There still are going to be some side streets that are open, but I don't recommend those because the side streets are going to be where the water is the deepest and you're going to have the most difficult time getting through. So like Annie was just telling you about downtown, the water is deep in multiple areas, multiple roads shut off, and you can't get there from 26 or 27 or from 17. Live from I-26, I'm Ashley Yost, News 2.